Imagine if your body had an internal fast-forward button for healing. In the early 1990s, researchers discovered a naturally occurring protein in human gastric juice, and they called it body protective compound, or BPC. This is where we need to take a step back, put our scientific thinking hats on, and talk about the elephant in the room. Because of its massive popularity online, the public interest has skyrocketed, and with that interest has come heavy scrutiny from the regulatory bodies. Much of the BPC-157 sold online comes from unregulated research chemical websites. You may be injecting or ingesting heavy metals, impurities, or completely different compounds, or completely different amounts than what you thought you're getting. However, the landscape is shifting. Hello, welcome back to the Dr. Joy Kong podcast. You know, my mission here is to help you live healthier, happier, and longer. And today the topic is a peptide. I'm sure by now you've heard about peptides, and specifically one famous one, BPC-157. So we're going to take a little bit of deeper dive on this because there's just a lot of questions. People are very interested. So I want you to think about, imagine if your body had an internal fast-forward button for healing, such as a torn hamstring, an angry gut, or a nagging joint injury, but that can be fixed in a fraction of the usual time. And if you've spent any time on fitness forums, longevity podcasts, or biohacking events, then you probably heard about BPC-157, and it's often nicknamed the Wolverine Peptide because of its ability to help us repair and regenerate. So what's the actual science behind this intense interest in the public? Is it truly a revolutionary breakthrough, or are we getting way ahead of ourselves? Today, I will try to separate the data from the drama, and we'll dive deep into its strange origins in human gastric juice and look at the most prominent research, address the major recent regulatory shakeups, and talk about the real safety concerns that you need to know. So let's get into it. To understand BPC-157, we first have to understand what a peptide is. Think of peptides as a short chain of amino acids. Basically, they are the smaller siblings of proteins. They act as precise signaling molecules in the body, telling cells exactly what to do. Now, you know, we have an ocean of peptides in our body. So there's 300,000 peptides working simultaneously in our body. So we are a chemical universe, right? But this particular peptide that got really famous, how do we discover it? Actually came from a place that you may not expect, the human stomach. In the early 1990s, researchers discovered a naturally occurring protein in human gastric juice that seemed to have protected the stomach lining from being digested by its own harsh acids. And they called it body protective compound, or BPC. But the entire protein is very large and it's very complex to synthesize in the lab. So scientists isolated a fraction, so a specific segment of it, a sequence of just 15 amino acids. And that synthetic 15 amino acid chain is what we call BPC-157. And what makes it unique from a structural standpoint is its stability. Because it originated in the stomach, is remarkably resilient against degradation, which is a rare trait for a peptide. But why would a stomach protein care about a torn tendon, or a damaged muscle? Now let's look at the mechanisms of how this peptide works. So when we look at high quality preclinical research, mostly led by European research groups over the past few decades, BPC-157 shows an astounding ability to accelerate tissue repair. But how does it work at a cellular level? Well, it drives healing through quite a few pathways. The number one pathway is what's called angiogenesis, which means the promotion of new blood vessel formation. BPC-157 can promote the expression of the vascular endothelial growth factor, or VEGF for short, and stimulating the growth of new blood vessels as a result to deliver blood and nutrients to injured tissue. So that's number one. Number two mechanism is the modulation of nitric oxide pathway. BPC-157 interacts with the nitric oxide system, which is crucial for regulating blood flow, protecting the vascular endothelium, and controlling inflammation after injury. The third mechanism of how BPC works is through FAK paxillin signaling activation. What is FAK? It's called focal adhesion kinase, and also the paxillin protein. So that's what BPC-157 can upregulate. And this pathway controls cell attachment and movement, essentially allowing cells like fibroblasts to migrate to and survive at the site of an injury. And the fourth mechanism is growth hormone receptor upregulation. So in tendons and ligaments, there are fibroblasts, and research show BPC-157 can increase the expression of growth hormone receptors, which enhances the tissue's anabolic response, so building response, and ability to heal. And the fifth pathway is anti-inflammatory effects. But BPC-157 can mitigate uncontrolled or chronic inflammation, which can cause secondary tissue damage. And BPC does this by downregulating inflammatory cytokines. And the last mechanism I'm going to talk about is the cell protection mechanism. BPC-157 can act as a free radical scavenger to reduce oxidative stress, thus preventing premature cell death and protecting tissues from synthetic toxins or injury. In animal models, ranging from rats to dogs, the results have been robust. We've seen accelerated healing of Achilles tendons, bone fractures, damaged skeletal muscles, and even severe gastric ulcers and inflammatory bowel disease, such as ulcerative colitis. It can act as a systemic cell protector, protecting and repairing cells under stress. This is where we need to take a step back, put our scientific thinking hats on, and talk about the elephant in the room. Hello, my loyal listeners. I want to interrupt this podcast for just a second because I want to let you know that if you're looking to help solve a major health issue, or you're looking for health optimization and just for longevity purposes, you can find us at Chara Health. We are considered the leader in the regenerative medicine and longevity space, and we utilize modalities like stem cell therapy, peptide therapy, plasmapheresis, ozone treatments, laser therapy, all to create a beautiful symphony to get you to where you want to be. You can find us at www.chara-health.com. That's CHARA. For all the studies we know, 95% of them have been done on animals. While a rat's cellular machinery is quite similar to ours, humans are far more complex. As of right now, large-scale, gold standard human clinical trials are very scarce. Until recently, we only had a handful of very small pilot studies, such as retrospective reviews of intra-articular knee injections for pain or some small safety studies. However, the landscape is shifting. Right now, there's an active, randomized, double-blinded, placebo-controlled phase 2 human trial evaluating BPC-157 for acute grade 2 hamstring muscle strain repair. This is exactly what the scientific community has been waiting for. People are waiting for a rigorous, controlled human data to prove if the Wolverine effect transfers over to real-world clinical medicine for humans. Because of its massive popularity online, the public interest has skyrocketed. And with that interest has come heavy scrutiny from the regulatory bodies. If you looked for BPC recently, you might notice that it is much harder to get it. The World Anti-Doping Agency has banned it for competitive athletes. Also, the US FDA has strictly regulated its availability, reclassifying it to protect public safety due to the lack of extensive human data. Actually, the FDA Pharmacy Compounding Advisory Committee has scheduled formal reviews to debate whether BPC-157 can even be included on the approved bulk substances list for compounding pharmacies. So why the sudden caution? Besides people's suspicion of the opposition from Big Pharma, there are two other major concerns. One is a purity and source issue. Because this peptide sits in a regulatory gray area, right? So it's not an approved drug, but it's being used widely. Much of the BPC-157 sold online comes from unregulated research chemical websites. When you buy from these sources, there could be zero guarantee of purity, sterility, or accurate dosing. You may be injecting or ingesting heavy metals, impurities, or completely different compounds, or completely different amounts than what you thought you're getting. And the second issue is the theoretical cancer risk. Let's think logically about how BPC-157 works. It aggressively promotes angiogenesis, which is the growth of new blood vessels. That will promote cellular proliferation, right, to help heal the tissue. But tumors use the exact mechanism to survive and grow. They rely on angiogenesis. So while BPC-157 hasn't been shown to cause cancer, scientists are worried that if someone has an existing undiagnosed early stage cancer, maybe inducing a powerful angiogenic agent could inadvertently feed the tumor, thus accelerating its growth. But we don't really have long-term human safety trials, so we don't know exactly where this risk is at. Where do we go from here? What's the future of BPC-157? Well, the future is in large part depending on formal clinical trials and smart innovations. We're moving away from the Wild West era of unregulated internet biohacking and moving toward more legitimate targeted medical therapies. But that takes time. Well, if the current phase 2 clinical trials for muscle strains prove successful, and if future trials can validate its safety in specific target areas like ulcerative colitis or tendon repair, we could see BPC-157 return to the medical mainstream as a highly regulated, safely manufactured prescription therapy. So what's the bottom line? Well, BPC is an incredibly fascinating molecule with immense therapeutic potential, but science cannot be rushed. Until the human clinical data catches up with the lab data, it should be approached with caution and managed strictly under the guidance of a qualified medical professional who understands the underlying chemistry of this molecule. So thank you guys for tuning in. If you found this deep dive helpful, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more science-rooted breakdowns. And drop your comments in the comment section, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching and listening. If you enjoyed this kind of content, please subscribe and turn on your notification bell so you don't miss any of my future content. And if you want to learn more about regenerative medicine or other modalities in anti-aging medicine, please go to my YouTube channel, Joy Kong MD, and there are all kinds of videos to help you keep learning.